I had an appointment.
Oh, okay. Yes. Just fill out this form.
Hi.
Yeah, hello.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you, too.
I'm a physical therapist, if you didn't know.
Oh, okay. So I'll put that down on this form for you.
I just noticed that your posture's really bad.
Oh. Well, I mean, it's...
You play sports?
I don't, actually. I run this clinic.
If you ever need your rhomboid checked out, just come check me out.
My rhombus does hurt.
Yeah.
My rhombus, my trapezoids, got a couple polygons you can check out, unilateral, quadrilateral.
Rhombus is a polygon.
Oh,
So
I
is a
know.
trapezoid. They're all polygons.
And they're all meat. They're all muscles, so...
Yeah.
And you know them all, okay.
I know them all, every last one of them.
So what brings you into lesbian go-away?
I hate pussy now.
You do?
Yeah.
Well, you have one, right?
Long story. Yeah, I do.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so now you hate it?
Well, I was
We
in
don't do that here. We don't do that kind of stuff here.
What do you do?
It's more about orientation, not gender identity. So if
It's not about gender identity. I'm a woman.
Okay. So let me get this straight. You had a lesbian phase.
Well, I was lesbian.
Okay.
And probably still am.
Was lesbian, probably still
I
am.
was a lesbian,
Okay.
but, and I had a wife.
Oh, a wife. Okay.
And we had a little throuple thing going on, and the bitch said I was autistic. She said I was a dickhead, and that I was rude.
Okay.
And they fucked without me all the time, and I just started getting a lot of rage, and my wife left me, and now I just fucking hate pussy, and I want to suck dick.
So when you were with your lesbian partners, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much would you say the orgasm was from penetration?
I usually had the strap on, so...
Oh, okay.
Not much.
Interesting. Okay.
Sometimes just the feeling of it pressing up against my, huge and large clitoris was enough to do it.
I gotcha. I see. A lot of people have a similar experience like that.
That's good to know.
So we'll just go ahead and get you checked in here. In about, 10 or 15 minutes, I'll bring you back. I'll get the exam room ready, and we'll start snipping out all that stuff that makes you a lesbian.
Oh, that's great.
You'll never want to be a lesbian again.
And you give me balls?
No, we don't do balls. No.
Okay.
That's different.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, no, if you want that, I mean, that's just a different doctor.
I don't necessarily want it, but if you wanted to give me balls while you're taking out my, my girlhood, then go ahead.
I think you just have you just have to see what it actually entails when you get inside the room, okay? So you just sit over there and you look
15 minutes?
Yep, you read those magazines, Ellen magazine, and...
You got any Sports Illustrator?
No, we don't have Sports Illustrator.
I'm gonna go right next door to the bodega, get a Sports Illustrator. I'll be right back.
All right, well, you got about 10 to 15 minutes. I'm gonna go clean the exam room.
I'll be back.
Lower that arm! Okay, put it... Tristan!
How do you can't just lower it like that. It's on a crane.
I know, and they need to lower it into place. They're trying to raise it higher. The last thing we need is for it to be higher.
Well, they know how... Clark, look down here.
I know you got...
There's thousands of them.
I know.
Thousands of... Well, I don't know. But there's thousands of arms. There's about 500 people.
It's a lot bigger, It definitely took over a majority of the city.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is that they've done this.
You're right.
They only have a few left.
And look at how stunning it is,
Very stunning, and look at the way, when we're gonna run under this, look at the way the sun comes down on it. Isn't it just so beautiful?
It is beautiful. It's, it's like happiness shining through the arms of support.
Right, and I really appreciate you letting us put up a sex gremlin, section of the arms, too.
Of course. We were really going through trying to get as much diversity in the arms, and that's why we ended up with thousands, because there's thousands of minorities.
There's tons of different nationalities. We wanted to have every nationality,
exactly,
species on here. There's a couple of goats in there too.
Yep. once Sister Marble mentioned animals, then we had to have, lion's arms and goat's arms and dog's arms.
Exactly.
So there's a lot of people supporting this tunnel. So many different animals, aliens. We even have some fun arms, alien arms, Fred Flintstone's arms.
No, it's really good to see, and the artists have really come out and they've done their work.
They have.
They've done the work to do this, and it's a tremendous success.
I'm glad it's going to really put New Springfield on the map.
They're calling it the 8th wonder of the world.
I know, we've been trying to get that out there. We've been, putting that out in the press,
Yeah, so, I mean, it's the 8th one. I haven't seen any Chinese immigrants yet, coming to visit.
They'll
but
be
maybe
here.
Maybe when it's done.
They'll be here.
Is this going to be considered the national park now, or is this just...
Well, I mean, it would probably be hard to get it considered the national park because it, takes over the whole city, but it could... sort of be...
It's protected, though.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's like a landmark, historic landmark.
Hey, have you seen Haggerty?
No, I haven't seen him in a while. The last I heard he was going to go up and ride the finger down on the last pair of arms.
That's what I had too, but I haven't seen him in a while. I was supposed to be doing some readings for a Legally Blonde.
Oh.
And I haven't seen them.
I know you guys have been so busy with the pools and the, now this, and the ad agency and the fashion photography. I'm surprised he even found time to do Legally Blonde.
Well, I'm making him do it.
Oh.
I'm making him do it. He doesn't really want to be in musicals as much as I want to be in musicals now.
Gotcha.
But he can sing.
He did really latch on to creating pools. I didn't realize how blue collar he actually could be.
I didn't either, and I'm kind of done with it, though.
Oh. You want to go back to the artsy sides of things.
Well, I mean, I don't really care about digging pools. To be honest, I don't know why we even got it. It was a scheme to begin with.
Well, I do sort of believe that.
I think I just wanted to do some other things, see what else is out there. But the artsy things, it's where my heart is. I mean, I can't turn my back on where my heart is.
That is beautiful. I do understand that. And I mean, honestly, it's nice that you were able to do something artistic through this new project, through this, the Tunnel of Arms.
Yeah, that I'm really proud of it. I'm really proud of it. And what?
Do you see that? Is that swinging? That arm's swinging a lot, isn't it?
Yeah.
Probably shouldn't be swinging so much.
Oh my god. Oh my god, Clark. Oh my god.
It's going crazy!
Oh my god. Hold the crane.
Lower it down fast.
No,
as
bring it
fast
back
as
up.
you can.
Don't lower it down.
You don't want it to be higher.
Bring it up.
It's windy!
Oh my god!
Watch out!
Oh no!
Oh my god, no!
Everyone's falling!
Everyone's black!
It's falling like dominoes!
Somebody help!
Ow, Tristan, ow!
Hey,
Oh my god, ow!
Are you okay?
I'm crushed under this absolutely gigantic bronze set of arms. It's full of liquid blood, and it's so heavy.
Okay.
I
don't know what we're gonna do.
Why didn't we put a reflecting pool under all the arms?
What are you talking about?
There should have been a reflecting pool. I would have fell in the pool, and it would have been like Minecraft. I wouldn't have got hurt.
Who's gonna run through the set of arms if we have a reflecting pool?
Yeah, that's not like what Tristan or Haggerty, I know you're hurt, but that was not ever part of the design. It's a soccer tunnel for soccer.
That everything works like Minecraft.
Have you ever? And even then, yeah, even if you did fall in the water, I think you would still probably be very hurt.
I mean, it depends on how deep the water was. If it was 1 block deep, he'd be hurt. If it was 2 blocks, I think it would really save him.
I mean, this is at least there's no pool actually there, but I'm thinking a reflecting pool is only 1 block deep.
It has to be only 1 block. That if you say reflecting pool, if
Right.
you say any other pool,
It's different.
it's different.
Ow.
Haggerty, I
I'm in
don't know
very-
what to say right now.
Very bad pain, Tristan.
I know you are.
I just fell from 500 feet in the air.
Are you crushed?
I'm crushed. Yeah, I'm
Are
crushed.
your legs you look like a toothpaste?
I'm crushed both emotionally and physically.
Emotionally,
I'm
why?
crushed.
Why are you crushed emotionally?
Well, Tristan, we were almost done with this project, and who knows what sort of project we could have done next.
I mean,
and-
it didn't collapse all the way. It's just leaning up against one of them now. I mean,
Yeah, it's it went 50 of them. If there's 1,000, 50 of them knocked down.
stood. It's just bouncing off the titanium arms.
I told you we should have put Iron Man's arms in there.
Honestly, you're right, Clark. If we hadn't put Iron Man's arms in there, then the whole thing would have fell down.
I mean, that really, we could probably just pick the rest of these back up and put them back into place.
Yeah, strategically, there are superhero arms every 50 arms, so that was probably a good idea to do that.
I don't know how we're going to save Haggerty. This is way too big for me to pick up.
Yeah.
And I think if we pull him, it might rip him in half.
And it's kind of one of those things, like, if you pick it up, he just, the only thing keeping him alive right now is the pressure.
He's not bleeding out, right?
Right, and if we move this, then it,
So what are you saying? You're just gonna leave me here under this one?
I'm not saying that, but I just don't know.
We just sort of have to accept the fact that if we do anything other than leave you here like this, that you will die anyway, so...
Here's the thing, though. I'm not a doctor. We know a doctor.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm gonna give him a call. Hold on. Dr. Xavier?
Hey Tristan, what is it? I'm a little busy right now.
What could you possibly be busy with?
Just, got a lot of things going on. I can't remember what I said in the last episode, but I remember I was doing something business-wise, talked to Congress about something, I don't know, something about autism, I don't know.
They tried to arrest you.
It's all over with now, all of that, so... So yeah, I mean, maybe I could come, drop a pin, and I'll see what...
I didn't even tell you I needed you yet, but I do need you,
Yeah, so like I said, drop a pin, and I'll start heading that way.
Okay, yeah.
Ooh, yeah, Tristan, yeah, I'm like on the other side of town, and it's rush hour, so...
Well, you could run through the set of arms to get here. We're just at the other side of the set of arms.
Oh, you're just on the other side of... Okay, you're just on the other side of the set of arms.
It looks farther away than what it is, but just run through the arms, and then you'll be here.
Well, and it's cool, because, like, the way the set of arms... I've had this theory that, if there was just a road directly from my house directly to work, that it would be a lot shorter than the route that I actually have to drive around businesses and cities and existing roads.
I know.
So, like, I think that I really do think you're right. I'm at the other side of town, but there's 500 of these and there's nothing in the middle, so I mean, I can just go right through. It's not open to the public.
You can drive your car through the...
I'm gonna drive... Okay, I'm gonna go around this curb. You don't think anybody's gonna give me a hard time, do you?
No.
Here we go. Okay, now it's a little bumpy with all this grass.
You drive a Jeep. You'll be fine.
Oh, hang on. Someone's waving me down.
Just drive past them.
I'm just gonna keep driving. Hi, I have permission. Oh, these arms are beautiful.
I know. What's your favorite one?
Well, so far, let's see. I really like the Yoda arms. Those are cute.
I like the chicken arms.
I haven't seen the chicken arms yet. What position are they in?
They're about 316 deep, something like that.
Okay, let me see. I'm by, let's see. I just went under dog arms, and it looks like that's
you're
marked
really
at
close.
37.
That's where the animal stat.
Yep. That's a lot of animals.
All right, the room's ready. Okay, are you ready, Sister No?
I'm incredibly ready.
Now, I don't know why we did it this way, but I was pretending to be the receptionist, so you have to be the doctor.
She didn't think anything.
Right. Yeah, so you have to pretend to be the doctor. I'm going to go get her. You get her in the chair, and then I'll snip her head off.
Why don't I go get her, and then you be ready to snip?
Because she already saw me.
But she would be expecting you...
She saw me as a receptionist, so if I go out and get her, then I don't want her to think I'm the receptionist. She still thinks I'm the receptionist, so if somebody else... You're the doctor. There's only 2 people who work here.
It's very common for the doctor in a situation like this to go out and just grab the patient.
You're right, but I've already sort of established that I'm sitting at the front desk, and I was kind of like, I don't remember exactly what I said, but I sort of made it seem like...
It's our first one. It's totally fine.
Yeah, I mean, so it'll be okay.
Okay.
It's a soft launch.
Oh, I'm nervous.
Yeah, you just wait here. I'll go out into the lobby and get it.
Okay.
Miss Mafusa?
Yeah.
Miss Mafusa?
Yeah.
The doctor will see you now. We're gonna get those lesbian tendencies removed forever.
Okay, great.
Come right this way.
Take a look at this Sports Illustrated right here. You see Kevin Durant?
Yeah.
You see him right here?
I mean,
look at his score.
Yeah, I mean,
All-time league.
I gotta tell you, though, to be honest with you, I don't... I'm just the receptionist, so don't take anything crazy when I say this, but personally, I don't like when people flip-flop on their sexuality. Personally.
What are you trying to say?
You're a lesbian, but now you want to be straight? We don't really go for that.
But this is what this place is.
Yeah, that's what this place is, but I'm just saying, I just needed something to pay the bills, sweet cheeks.
So you don't agree with my choices?
Oh, I mean, if it's gonna get you to walk away, I mean, of course I agree
Can I
with him.
give you some unsolicited advice?
Sure you can.
Why don't you stop? Like, you look like a fucking pair of scissors, dude.
Oh.
You look really weird.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little bit of titanium. I'm split down the middle with a fulcrum point in the middle.
Yeah,
I guess I would describe that as scissors.
I don't
wouldn't-
really agree with that.
Well, okay. I mean, yeah, I guess from your point of view, this must be some sort of elective cosmetic surgery, so I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, it is an elective cosmetic surgery. Here's
I was left for dead, ma'am.
What?
I was left for dead, and the only way they could save me was to fashion me into scissors. This wasn't elective. Okay, now if you're not careful, you're not even going to get to the room before I cut your head off.
I didn't even ask. I didn't ask.
You're right. Sorry, we're going to be going right down the hall to room 1. Right there.
Okay, wow. Okay.
And just knock on the door before you go in so you don't startle the nurse, the doctor.
You can come in, it's fine.
He's supposed to knock!
Okay, can you
That was
knock?
what we talked about in the
Do
plans.
I really have to knock?
Yes, we said you were going to knock.
said
That
I
was
could
part of the
come in.
plans. No, what the fuck ever.
Please knock, listen to her.
Thank you.
Oh my god, I just don't
Come in.
Enjoy your visit.
Okay, thank you. God, I don't know, hi doctor, I don't know what that, thing's problems were, but, you're gonna take away my lesbian, right?
Yeah, we're gonna do everything we can for you, Mefusa. Listen here. So you have a pussy. Can you drop your pants?
Yeah, here. You need me to be completely naked?
Oh, please, God, no. Just the pants is fine. Is that a penis?
No, it's a really, really, really big clit. Doctors say I have just naturally a lot of testosterone, so my clit grew to, about penis size.
That's fantastic. Okay, so sit here in this thing, and then you're gonna put your legs up, and then we're just gonna strap your arms in here. Okay, and we're gonna strap
Don't forget
your
the
legs
clit
down.
clamp.
What?
Don't forget the clit clamp.
Okay, we're gonna put the clamp on your clit.
Oh man, that feels good.
And, okay, you're all strapped in. I'm gonna walk out, and then the doctor will be in soon.
Nope.
I thought you were the doctor.
She is the doctor. She's
I am the doctor.
Don't mind her. She's the doctor.
Well, I am the doctor, but the other doctor's
She's the
gonna be in
doctor,
soon.
but there's another doctor. Here, you face the door. Just face the door, and I'm gonna for no reason. I'm just gonna walk behind you, Miss Mefusa. Okay, we're just gonna
Okay.
take a look at everything
who's the doctor?
and snap.
Oh my God, she's
Fucking dead.
fucking bleeding
Her
everywhere.
head's spewing like it did in Grand Theft Auto Vice City when you sniped somebody. It's like
Love that.
straight spew of blood right up
Wow.
to the ceiling. It's honestly
Wow.
cool.
Wow.
Really cool. How much blood do you think is inside one of these?
I don't know, but it seems like it's starting to pull up.
Oh yeah, it's like hitting the ceiling. It's painting the ceiling. There's so much blood.
Well, I think it was a success. We know
would
it's a
say
little
that's
rough
pretty
around the edges,
successful.
but we got her strapped in. We have the click clamp on, and her head's gone.
Right. So let's just, as a debrief, let's just keep in mind our roles.
Right.
If I'm the receptionist, you're the doctor.
Well, I don't want to be the doctor. I thought you were the doctor. 'cause
I mean,
you're doing
I'm gonna be the one sniping the head off, but you're just gonna get the roles down. Do you want to play receptionist next time, and I'll play doctor?
I think I would like to try it.
Okay.
Only because you're like a medical instrument already.
There you go. Yeah, that's true. And then that way, there's also the possibility, and I don't like to say this because it's degrading to me, but there's also the possibility that somebody could come in here and see a woman looks like scissors as a receptionist and turn around and leave. I mean, I'm just being honest.
I'm going to be very honest with you. I think that's a big possibility. I'm surprised this one didn't, but clearly not very smart.
Well, but also maybe that's why. I mean, the grand opening was last week, and we haven't had a single customer. People just walk by, look through the windows, and see me sitting there. That explains it. That explains a lot, actually.
Yeah,
So-
I think that, we already knew, how many lesbians could there possibly be that, don't want to be lesbians anymore, but, yeah, I mean, one a week is kind of crazy.
You're right, and I mean, this is non-profit. This is just something we're trying to do because we believe in it. It's
Right.
We're not trying to make billions of dollars, but at least you know
there's
what?
no way
Think
to
of it
make-
this way. This is just a cool place we can hang out every day and have some place to go
It's for
to,
the
and if somebody
girls.
comes in, they come in.
It's a place for the girls.
Yeah. But we got to keep in mind now you're the receptionist, so we'll just have to, in case somebody comes in, we'll have to remember that.
Okay, well, can you take a click clamp off?
It's getting engorged, isn't it?
Well, There's no more blood in it. It's kind of shriveling up.
No, you're right. You're right. Hello. I'm here. I don't want to be a faggot little faggot-ass little dyke-ass bitch anymore.
Well, nice to meet you.
Are you the receptionist here?
I am. Hello.
Tiffany.
Hi, Tiffany.
Tiffany.
Huh?
Tiffany.
Well, hi, Tiffany. Why are you looking at me like that?
I'm hoping that you have the answers I need.
You're beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I was one of those, I saw your ad in the paper, and I saw the ad, and it was talking about how if we ever experimented sexually in college and then didn't follow through with it after college, that we should come here. And that's me. I did some gay stuff. I did some lesbian stuff in college with my roommate, and I never followed up on it after college. So I wanted to know if you could help me get rid of those memories and that experience
we can
altogether.
definitely help you get rid of all of the memories.
We are so fucking busy. I mean, this is just opening the floodgates.
This is exactly what we're here for. Exactly what we're here. Ma'am, do you have time for an appointment right now?
Oh, I absolutely do.
Do you want to come in the back and meet the doctor?
Are they here? They're here right now accepting new walk-ins?
Yes, of course.
I'd love to meet her.
Walk into this room.
Or them, I don't know.
Walk into this room right here, right over here.
Oh my god!
It's okay.
It's so bloody!
It's okay.
so bloody!
It's okay. Sit.
Snip! Now, see, here's the thing. We weren't prepared for a second customer to come in that quick.
I wasn't.
We still have blood on the ceiling. We still have Mefusa's body laying here on the ground headless. Probably should lock the doors once
Listen, this is something I wasn't considering is the amount of blood. I think we could get a little kiddie pool and have the blood, go into there rather than having the.
Now that's a good idea. It's also, we were trying to go for a very clinical office feel, hospital feel, so everything's white. If we just go ahead and paint everything red, then
don't have to clean.
Exactly, when the red hits the ceiling, it won't matter. And you could just wipe your, I have diabetes, so sometimes I have to prick my fingers, and now I don't have to look for some place to wipe them. I can just wipe it on the wall.
That's honestly an amazing idea.
The only downside I could see is that there's the potential that the walls would be coated in STDs or bloodborne pathogens or.
Well, are you a germaphobe?
No,
Then get over it.
you're right.
It's fine.
You're right. You're right. Yeah, we'll just have it covered in dyke blood. You know what? There's
Paint the-
so
paint the
much
town
extra
red.
blood here. We might be able to just start painting this room with Brett Mefusa's blood.
I'll go get the roller.
Okay, so I know you got 49 of the 50 pairs of arms back up, but I'm really scared that if you pick this one up, I'm gonna die. Well, that's why we got the doctor here, Haggerty. He thinks that he can roll you up like a toothpaste.
Yeah.
And you'll be fine.
Basically, Haggerty, my thought is, as we're lifting up the hand, I'm gonna essentially squeeze the other side of you so that all of your blood and meat go back into the part that's been flattened. That's just what I think will work.
I think it sounds like a plan to me. I have no qualms about it. I just do it.
Yeah, I do need Haggerty to consent, though, because, Haggerty, I have to tell you, you could...
I'm his guardian.
It's possible you could die.
I'm his
Well, I don't want to die. I mean, I don't want to die, Tristan.
Haggerty, I'm your guardian. Do you not think I know what's best for you?
Well, I mean, I'm sure you do, but I'm just curious, is it possible?
Haggerty, please.
Yeah,
The men are speaking.
What is it?
The men are speaking.
Here, let's move over here, and we'll talk away from him.
I'm sorry, he's such a child. I need his legs to work. He's going to be in the musical. He has a lot of things.
Yeah, and I mean...
What do you think the likelihood of his legs just working when you put the meat back in?
I'd say it's like a 10% chance.
Okay.
But we do have, I've been working with some, financiers and some business dealings that have gone my way, and we do have some robot legs. So I think, in the
Robot
worst
legs.
case scenario, we could put some robot legs
Could
on
you
them.
could you program them to dance?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't tried that, but I mean, you have to program every step into it. You have to pre-program your entire day, and every
I've
time you're going
always
to move
thought
your
it would
legs.
be easier to program robot legs to dance for him than to teach him how to dance. He's horrible.
This is a good idea. I never thought about marketing my legs for dancing. But how many times do you go out to a party and you see a man and he's dancing and he looks terrible and it's cringe? Imagine if he bought my legs, he'd be able to dance every night and like pick up chicks at the
He
club.
could do the floss.
He could floss.
He could floss.
He could electric slide Tristan.
He could do the moonwalk.
Okay, we need to move this arm. We need to move this arm right now.
So we just don't care about pushing it back.
Yeah, we don't care. We're not going to worry about pushing it back.
We're gonna tell Haggerty he's gonna lose his legs. He's gonna pass
We'll
out.
just lie to him.
We'll lie to him.
Yeah, we just lied to him.
He's gonna pass out
Yeah,
immediately.
we're like,
once all
oh
the pain
yeah, we're
hits.
pushing you. We're gonna fill him back up. Yeah, right. He's gonna either pass out or die immediately, and then we'll just strap him up with, robot legs.
But if he dies, we can revive him.
I mean, if he dies, dude. Listen, I'm like 15% sure he's not gonna die.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay.
No. Before you hook that up to the crane and lift it up and potentially end my life.
Haggerty.
Isn't it possible that, like, the end of the tunnel is an arm that's laying down with a man who's fused underneath it, and y'all can just come here every day and, like, bring me food and just take care of me right here. We can put up a little, like, umbrella around me so I don't get wet. And, like, then you don't have to lift it up, and I just live here forever like it's my iron lung.
Haggerty, how you gonna poop?
Well, to be honest with you, my asshole and my penis and my legs are all under the thing that's crushed. So, if poop comes out down there, I'm just not gonna know about
It's gonna start coming out your mouth.
You think? You think there's gonna be poop coming out of my mouth?
100. Where's it gonna go?
Smush between the ground and the hand and come out my ass.
Don't work like that. It's gonna come out your mouth. The only thing I just talked to Dr. Xavier. He's 99% sure that this is going to work.
I'm like 99% sure, Tristan, and also, like, if poop comes out of your mouth, like, it's going to. Poop is going to come out of your mouth if we don't lift this hand. Poop is coming out.
So lift it.
So we're gonna lift the hand.
The hand, and you're gonna be okay.
Okay, well, could you just hold my real hand and then, like...
I'm gonna hold your hand. Of course I will.
Can you, like, say goodbye just in case I do
We're
die?
not gonna say goodbye because you're not gonna die, Haggerty.
Okay, well, see you later then. Will you say see you later just in case I die?
Okay, good night. I mean, see you later.
Okay, so it looks like everything is settled with the tunnel. We got the last pair of arms up. Put the little memorial where Haggerty's legs were ripped off and put into the ground. What more can you say?
We just need to open it up.
We're ready for the grand opening.
Yeah, start charging people to come in here.
Hey, Tristan, yeah, he is in bad shape, but I think these robot legs are gonna do the trick. I do.
How long until they installed?
Like 14 days.
14 days?
Yeah, they ship from Japan.
They're not even here?
No, they ship from Japan. They're custom order. I have to send in the...
So we gotta amputate his legs now?
They're gone, honey.
They're already gone?
They're gone, yeah.
So he has no legs?
Yeah, they were smeared to a pulp underneath the thing.
Okay, is he still out?
And once I saw, like, what happened to his legs, I'm like 100% sure poop would have come out of his mouth, because, like, his asshole was gone.
Well, I guess I'll break the news to him when he wakes up in the next episode or something.
That's all you can do, and until then, you just have to stay moat.
Stay moat.
Hello and welcome to MOATAIF. We're back.
We're back, folks. Another installment, a short reprieve. Life was pretty busy the last couple months, to say the least.
Yeah.
I don't even remember. I think the last episode we recorded went up in May. I guess that's not that long ago. No, that couldn't be true. Maybe it is. I don't know.
It could have been the beginning of May because
Yeah.
it's like towards the end of June now.
Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know. I mean, we had this wedding back in April that ended up staying until, like, in your contract you get 4 hours of setup the day before your like, if you pay for the wedding and your wedding's on Saturday, you get 4 hours to decorate on Friday. But we're also open 8 hours on Friday, so usually we just let people come in for 8 hours, and decorate on Friday because we're already open and the room's already set up
might as
for
well.
them. Right. So these people came and they set up they came at like 12 p.m. when they could have come at 8 a.m. and then didn't get anything done. Not a single thing done by 5 p.m. And we went in and I told them to their face, like, hey, you have to leave. If you don't leave, it's $100 an hour extra. Because, I've already worked 8 hours today. It's time for me to go home.
Right.
You know what I mean? And, it's one thing if we knew about it ahead of time, we could have planned for it. And the decorator was from Michigan, and she's like, oh, I need more time. I'm like, well, it's $100 an hour. And she's like, okay. And she stayed and ended up staying until 11 p.m. After 11 p.m.
And you had to stay there?
Yeah. She ended up staying until after 11 p.m. And thankfully, the theater arts program was doing Steel Magnolias at the time, and it was performing that night. So when it came time for Steel Magnolias at like 8 p.m., I just told Dan and I went next door and attended the performance, and then he kept coming over and checking in on the people setting up in the Grand Hall. But I want to be clear that Royal and I spent like an hour, 2 hours leading up to 5 o'clock being like, oh my God, like they don't have anything done. We're going to have to go in and tell them they have to leave. Like, we don't like doing that.
Yeah.
I don't like, it's not really a confrontation, but, I don't like having to go in and be like, hey, you have to leave. I mean, it's not fun. And I remember so clearly telling her to her face, the decorator, that, it's $100 extra. The next day, it was still a shit show because at 11, even though they left after 11 p.m., they still didn't have everything done. And so when they got there at 8 in the morning, they started working again from 8 in the morning on Saturday until the people were supposed to be let into the Grand Hall at 3:30, and they still weren't done.
What?
Yeah.
Is this a company doing this?
It's like a person. It's novel designs.
But it's her company.
Yeah, but it's a person. It's like in the same way that like Hannah Barton is a florist company, but like she's just a person who puts together floral arrangements. You know what I mean? Like it is a company, but she didn't have employees. She had like high school volunteers with her, and they're all like, not that this is necessarily a bad thing, but they all go to the same church. Like, and that's how this person knows. So like she's in Michigan, but somehow their church has like a sister relationship with this church in Michigan. And so this woman drove all the way down from Michigan and like bought all this stuff or has all this stuff and was, putting it all out. It took forever. It was like, 4 o'clock and they still weren't letting people into the Grand Hall. So at that point I have like 400 people standing in my lobby that's not at all designed for 400 people to stand in at once, I don't think it like broke the fire code.
400 people would be kind of like a lot in like Grand Hall even.
Oh yeah, and I don't think it like broke the fire code for the lobby, but it definitely it's not meant for 400 people to be standing in it at once. And so it was just awful. I mean, they were so disrespectful. Not necessarily the bride herself, but the decorator was so fucking disrespectful to the caterers, to just everybody.
Why?
She's just a cunt. I don't know. Like,
what was she doing to him?
Well, so the caterers usually set up on the setup day too, so that they can just bring the food on the day of the event and not have to worry about like, oh, now I also have to set up the buffet. Well, the decorator was the one who was going to put out all of the chargers and the napkins and the all of the things that already had to be in place for Carme to come in and then just put the plates in the silverware. But that was all stuff that they had like special ordered. Like we need gold chargers and we need a blue, they needed blush pink tablecloths. So she was ironing and steaming 45 brand new floor length blush tablecloths all the way to the floor. Took, easily, not even an exaggeration, easily 90 minutes to steam each one.
Wow.
All this stuff. And I'm kind of getting ahead of myself, but one of the things that came up was that she thought that she tried to say that we didn't have linens available for. Obviously, we can't do blush pink, but when we met with the bride, we told her, she's like, I want floor length linens. I'm like, well, those are a little more expensive because normally the linens are $2 each. The floor length linens are $14 each. So I was like, but we can do it. They're only going to be white though. We ordered them. She shows up. We had them all ready to go. And she's like, well, I brought blush pink ones. That's not on me, but I just want to throw that out there.
Right, okay.
That we did have all of these linens there. So anyway, the next day the wedding happens. It's fine. I mean, it was a clusterfuck, but it was fine. Everybody left. It was done. A couple weeks go by. I was so busy because like April is one of the busiest months at work. I was so busy that I never sent her over an updated invoice, but she needed to. I'll get more into the invoice. I never ended up sending her an invoice, but she had her initial invoice after she had paid her deposit, so she went ahead and paid the rest of the package. However, she still owed me $700 for the 7 hours that she stayed after on that Friday from 5 p.m. and it kicks in at 15 minutes. So because she left after 11:15, she had to pay for the whole hour of 11:15 to midnight. You know what I mean? So she owes me $700 for that. Technically, there's a fee that if you don't take everything with you at the end of your event, that's a $500 cleanup fee. But I waived that because she had asked permission ahead of time. They rented a bunch of stuff, and the people that they rented it from weren't going to be able to come pick it up until Monday.
Okay.
And I mean, she had told me about it ahead of time, so I'm like, that's, $500, fine. So I didn't charge her for the $500 for all the stuff that they left behind because she did ask me about it ahead of time. And then I decided, because they didn't end up using the $14 linens that I ordered for them, that we would just eat the cost of that and I wouldn't pass that on to her. So ultimately, when I sent her this invoice, I sent her an invoice that was only, not that it's, I mean, that's still a lot, but I sent her an invoice that was only for $700 when it could have been what's 45 times 15 or 14, that's 630 plus the $500 for leaving it overnight. That's 1,130 plus the 700 for the overtime fee. I could have sent her an $1,800 bill, but instead I sent her a $700 bill and only charged her for that extra time. Understandably, the bride was like, I didn't know anything about that. Now, if you want to play dumb, that's fine.
The bride said that, or
the bride said that. The bride was like, well, but it's in our contract. It's on all of the information sheets. And I'm pretty sure we explicitly told her about it too, when she was asking, like, when can we get in the day before? And we're like, well, technically 12 to 4, but as long as everything that you do is between 8 to 5, that's fine. Then it's $100 for every hour past 5 p.m. So I know we told it to her, but if she wants to play dumb, that's fine, even though it's all, so I explained it again, and I was like, no, I told the decorator it would be $100 an hour, and then she stayed until after 11 p.m., so you owe me $700. And she was like, oh, sorry, I didn't know about that. I'll get this taken care of. So then I'm like, okay, whatever. Well, then the decorator starts reaching out. And it's pretty obvious, but it's a good time to remind you that we do not have a contract with Novel in any way. She's not a customer of ours. She was hired by the bride. Had nothing to do with us. Novel reached out, and she's like, I'm asking for a phone call. And I'm like, well, I'm not calling you back. I sent the bill. My job's done. You know what I mean? My job's done. I told you that in person. I've already explained it again over email. I don't need to call. What's there to talk about? And also, you're not my client. So what's there to talk about?
Yeah.
So I ignored her. And then, a couple weeks go by again. Now we're talking like literally like it was Wednesday or Thursday.
What do you do if somebody doesn't pay the invoice?
Supposedly we send it to
bride?
collections.
Really?
Supposedly we send it to collections, but it's never happened before, and I wouldn't even know how to, to start that process.
Really?
But just like any other contract. I mean, if you don't pay it, it goes to collections.
You guys do a credit check?
No.
Huh.
No. But I mean, most of our events are like businesses. I mean, there are private clients too, but it's mostly businesses, so it doesn't come up as often.
Okay.
But certainly for like weddings, I mean, it is what it is, I guess. But so anyway, she on Wednesday or Thursday or whatever, apparently this lady, Novel, who is again not a client, calls the front desk at Clark State and complains about us.
Oh, good God.
And says we're, Royal and I are ignoring her and won't talk to her and ignoring emails. And that
kind of are.
Well, yeah. And that we were extremely disrespectful, and which is just flat out not true. I mean, just, yeah. And flat out just not true to begin with. Especially, and that kind of like incensed me the most, is I was like, I worked 18 hours that day so you could get your shit done. And you still weren't done. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I'm like, but yes, I was disrespectful. Even though that whole day they were like, oh, I'm going to leave such a nice review. Like, you're so accommodating. You're so nice.
Saying that?
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, now I'm disrespectful because I'm actually, fulfilling. So again, I kind of ignore, when they, Taylor obviously works near the front desk. So she is friends with the lady who took the call. The lady told her, and she's like, well, I have to email Dan, my boss, to, say that a complaint, which, I guess I understand that. So I called Dan and told him what was going on. It's important to remember that Dan took over for me when I was watching Steel Magnolias from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. And Dan is actually right. And Dan is actually the one who kicked them out of the building after 11:15.
Okay, so he's on board.
Aware. Yeah. So I called him. He was, obviously on board with it. And Royal and I went back we had gone over to main campus for an event. There's the cafeteria in Clark State has now partnered with TAC Industries, and they have Fresh Abilities in there. It's like a little, I mean, it's just a cafeteria food, and they have like, special needs people who work there and prepare the food and that kind of thing.
Okay.
And that day that I got that complaint, that the front desk got that complaint, was the same day as the 5-year anniversary of Fresh Abilities. And Royal and I had decided, since they were giving out free food, that we were going to go there instead of getting lunch, because why not?
Yeah.
So we get there. I get the call that I've had a complaint. I call Dan. We walk down to the event. I'm already kind of in a mood because of that. Like, sort of, I wouldn't say, anxious, but I was worked up. I just
Yeah.
had a complaint about me for no reason. Sort of justified. I mean, it is true. I ignored her, but I also don't have any
You don't have any
I don't have any
obligation.
responsibility to you. So anyway, then we walk down to the cafeteria, and I see Dan because he comes to the event too, since it's free food. We're talking about it again, like in person, laughing. All of a sudden, our vice president comes up, puts his hand on our shoulder, and he's like, "I know you guys are having fun, but keep it down."
What?
Because apparently, unbeknownst to us, because we're getting food, there's about to be a choir of retards singing. So there's now,
What?
yeah. So unbeknownst,
Was he
to
a dick about it?
Yes, yeah, it was rude. Pissed Royal off more than it did me, and even though it happened to me, he was like, "Did he just come up and tell you to be quiet?" And I was like, "Yep, he sure did." And so then I'm like, it was somewhat justified because I didn't know there was an event going on. It wasn't mic'd. You know what I mean? It was called an open
what a
house.
dickhead way to
Right,
go about
literally.
it.
I thought it was an open house because that's what they were calling it. And I mean, what isn't an open house doesn't necessarily
Mean a choir.
there's going to be a program. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
just show up, come eat some food, see the space. If you've never seen it
Yeah.
before. So I had no idea there's a program going on. Meanwhile, we got 13 screaming memes up there, but it was literally like 13 mentally handicapped people all standing there, and they're all just like,
Could you tell what they were singing?
no,
Okay.
not even from like the little background music that the choir director was doing. It might as well have been Gregorian chants. I mean,
Oh, sing
yeah,
the hum.
right. Like it was. So we got our food and we immediately left. I was just like, fuck this. Like this is not a good day. I'm not gonna be at a party and be told I'm being too loud. So we ate our food and then we went home. Or we went back to the office and I'm like, okay, here's what I can do. I'm gonna reach out again and to the bride and explain why I haven't talked to the decorator because she's not under contract with me.
Right.
And also, I'll offer a $200 discount for the confusion. You know what I mean? For all of the back and forth and,
Yeah.
and the ghosting or whatever. So I sent that off, and then we went home, and that should have been it. Wake up in the morning. Royal texts me, "Did you see Novel's email?"
No, but
It's
it's the decorator. Okay.
Yep. So it's 6:30 in the morning. I pick it up. I look at the email. Part of me just wants to read it, I guess.
Yeah, do we have the email?
We should. I think I'm probably deleted it, but I had to forward it to some people, so I'm sure it's still there.
Is it scathing?
It's pretty scathing. So the subject line from the novel begins with dishonest.
Oh my god.
Let me just say what I had sent before that, just so you get kind of an idea. I said, "Good afternoon. Again, I apologize for all the confusion regarding this overtime charge. As we are not under contract with Novel, I am not at liberty to discuss the contract or items within the contract, such as payment statuses and invoices with her."
Is that true?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like it's a rule that somebody's like negotiate, but like if you called me and you were like, "Hey, did Nash Bash pay their bill?" and you're nobody, like, you know what I mean?
Right, like,
why would I tell
answer?
you?
You're
Like,
right.
you know what I mean? It has nothing to do with you, And so even though she's attached to the event, it's like it hasn't. If she paid me, it has nothing to do with the decorator, except for the fact that the decorator is the person
reason
who
why
stayed.
she needs to
Right.
pay you, right?
So, and then I explained some more, which I won't read that. I just explained some more about why the fee was incurred. The exact same thing I've explained every time. And so this is the email.
So you haven't even heard from the bride since then. You've just heard from Novel.
Right,
So almost certainly the bride was like, "Hey, Novel, what the fuck?
right.
Pay this."
So then at 1:51 a.m., she sends to me and Royal, subject dishonest.
1:51 a.m.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Zach, I am not even going to copy the bride on this because she doesn't need the stress. But being dishonest in your position is not good. A very bad look on Abnallah. You've ignored me, refused to call me back, completely lied about the communication between us, refused to respond to emails, and more. Do you really think that anyone would agree to $100 an hour extra, totaling 7 hours without consent? Someone that's done this for 16 years, winning Best Event Planner in the state of Michigan twice?
Oh my.
Do you really think that I do this? It doesn't even make sense. If we need to go to court, we can go to court.
Oh my god.
I've been in every conversation and communication, but you suddenly can't talk to me? Smile. I have reached out for someone higher up to give me a call, and I look forward to that communication. Thankfully, there was 2 others that witnessed my conversation on said night. I specifically asked and made sure that we would not be charged. You mentioned having to pay staff to stay. I asked if we could avoid that and just lock up ourselves. I offered to take the linen home to steam it. I received a counteroffer saying that staff would go ahead and leave, but there was another event on campus going on, and that person would come lock up after it's done. The problem is that when the bride was shown the room, it was with long floor-length linen. Not true. Perhaps another bride had brought her own linen in, but you guys didn't express that. She found out 2 weeks prior to her wedding that you only offered short linen. Not
What?
true. At this point, no linen vendor had over 50 available. We had to purchase the linen at the last minute, launder it all, and steam 52 table linen during our setup. Looking forward to a meeting.
So she's a liar.
Yeah. And so that's what I was already like getting the vibe from like her earlier communications, is that she was just flat out denying this. She was like, I didn't know I'd be charged $100 an hour. I told you to your face. And yes, she did ask, well, can we just lock up ourselves? No.
Nobody's going to agree to that.
No, you can't lock up yourself, you fucking retard. Like, obviously no. Obviously no, you're not going to lock up yourself. And yes, I did say there's another, because it was like, oh, well, can we stay? And I'm like, it's $100 an hour, and somebody will have to stay here with you. Well, there is an event next door, so, I mean, the building can stay open, but it's $100 an hour. You know, because, like, somebody has to be here. I mean, what do you mean?
Right.
And she agreed. I mean, she didn't agree, but she was just like, okay, and then she stayed for 7 more hours. You know what I mean?
Okay,
so
yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
I don't know what I don't know what you expect from that. So immediately after, literally at 7 a.m. as I was leaving the house after I read that email, I texted our vice president and I was like, hey, I'm being
That's
harassed.
the guy who's a dick?
Yeah. Just the day before, yeah. I was like, hey, I'm being harassed by a non-client who refuses to pay her bill. Because, I mean, she's a non-client and she's you know what I mean? She's interestingly both. And so I asked him if he would call me when he got in, but instead he just came right to the HBC. And thankfully, I mean, he was 100% on my side. And he was like, well, I mean, he was like, you guys have built up such a good reputation that there's like no question in my mind that we know, like, you treat clients the right way. Like, you know what I mean? Like, even if you're frustrated with them, there's never been a time that you've ever given, you know what I mean?
Hey, you guys make it right.
Right. Like, you're not, you're not disrespectful. You're not dishonest, like, we obviously know that. And, I explained everything to him, but ultimately I was like, and I came to the conclusion on my own before he got there that morning, but I was like, what's so frustrating is the easiest path forward with the least resistance is to just say, forget it, and she can have it for free. But it's like, the principle of that is so annoying that she like complained, she knew,
Right.
She agreed to it, then complained about it, lied about it, and got it for free because it's the easiest way to just get her to go away.
Is that what happened?
And that's exactly what happened.
That's fucked up.
Yeah. Thankfully, God told Dan to get involved because she obviously wanted to hear from somebody higher up. So Dan told her, and he did stand up for us in the email. He was like, Zach Roberts and Royal Benton are incredible managers of the, and do their best to ensure every event goes, like, pretty much just like you have no standing here, but you have, here it is for free. Take care. You know what I mean? He was like, we're going to waive the fee. He did say, and it's true, Doug agreed. He was like, in hindsight, because she was not the bride who we had under contract with,
Her verbal
if
agreement.
she wouldn't leave, I should have called the bride and said, hey, your decorator is still here. She's going to get you charged $100 an hour. You need to come down
That's
here and
fair.
tell her to leave. And
That is
fair. That is fair. So going forward, that is certainly what I would do if we do get into this situation again, is, I would call the actual point of contact and be like, hey, you're about to start getting charged $100 an hour, and at least have them, do something about it, or at least I've told them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that was the
How
only thing I could
fucking
say I did
annoying.
wrong. Right. But it was really frustrating, and it's kind of been this like stream of things like similar, not really like that, but like, without going into too much detail, there was we had an academic calendar that was approved. We booked one of the dates that's listed on it as a college-wide event that's always taken place at the HBC. We booked it at the HBC for that as soon as we got this academic calendar. And once that event happened this year, when they looked at next year's calendar, which we already have reserved based on the academic calendar, they moved it to a different date. And that date's already been sold. And so that opened up this whole can of worms, because they're like, well, what do you mean the strategic planning day is not available? I'm like, well, this calendar says strategic planning day is on the 17th, not the 24th.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's like, you can't do that. You know what I mean? Like they
Yeah, you
don't
can't just
understand
move
how
it.
it works, because on one hand, it's like the building doesn't just exist for just the few events that Clark State does. If it does, it wouldn't be open. You
Right.
know what I mean? So, so that was this whole can of worms. And so, even Gus brought it up in our meeting the other day. He was like, I don't want you guys to start getting more chinks in your chain. And then it's like your reputation starts to like falter. And I understand that because, if, it's like we have such a good reputation, but then like, how did we let the ball drop on strategic planning day? Well, we didn't. And, we had to explain ourselves.
But that's the
You know what I mean?
optics of
Yeah,
it,
exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. And then it's like, well, how did you let the ball drop
we have
on
shit
this?
like that all the time at my job
it's
too. It's just
annoying.
it's like, oh well, it doesn't matter if this is actually what happened. To them, that's what happened.
Right.
So that's how you have to apologize for it.
Exactly.
And you have to make it right.
Mhm.
It's your fault.
Exactly.
Like, okay.
Right.
It's so unfair, but it's just like business.
We had like over January would have been our last meeting, but before that we had like 4 or 5 meetings between the Performing Arts Center, the HBC, and with God to talk about raising the prices. And we put together all these new packages, all these new prices, got them all approved, months of meetings, and they were effective January 1st, 2025. A couple weeks after that, because I was lazy, I sent the documents off to marketing to have them turned into something pretty, instead of just a Word document. And they're busy, they're working on a new new website, and they have, they're working on for every other department on campus too, and trying to, market the college to students. So like, I know they're busy. And so I wasn't expecting to get them. She said about 6 weeks, and now it's been, 5 or 6 months. And
What, really?
Yeah. And so Lori finally worked on them and sent them over to her boss, to be like, this is what I'm thinking. Her boss looked at the packages, and even though she has nothing to do with the packages or the prices or anything like that, she got confused. And so she asked Doug, she was like, can you explain this to me? And even though Doug's the one who approved them, he was pretty much like, no. So we had to have a meeting with marketing.
He said no, that he can't explain it.
Yeah, he just couldn't explain it. She was like, why is this one more if it has less tables or whatever it was? Why does this one less even if it has more tables? Well, because, you know what I mean? It's not because the prices weren't based on setup. The prices were based on how hard they are for the staff, how much hands-on interaction from the staff it requires. So even though a vendor fair has 75 tables, I just show up and unlock a door. I don't have to do anything for it.
Okay,
versus
sure,
a
yeah.
banquet that has 40 tables.
You're setting them
but
all up.
I'm also there with them the entire time. I'm working on the bar, whatever it is. I have to help them with their presentation.
Yeah.
So it's like this is, and I'm not expecting that Doug is able to fully explain all of that, like the intricacies
she
of
come
the
to you?
pricing. But also, why wouldn't Doug just be able to be like, well, yeah, these are the prices I approved regardless. You know what I mean? Like we already had all these meetings. I can't really explain the intricate details right now because it's been 6 months since we approved them. But you know what I mean? Like instead he's like, well, let's have a meeting. And so it's just like all of this like meeting. And then
I hate that shit, bro.
somebody in March broke the podium, the sign off the podium, and we've been trying to get it fixed, and we sent it off through marketing. We sent it off to McRae, which is like right there by the hospital in Springfield, and they just kind of ghosted us for the longest time. And when they sent out this meeting talking about the pricing with marketing, they put in the description like HBC podium update, Zach and Royal. What the fuck am I supposed to say? They have it. They're working on it.
Wait, who's asking for an update?
Marketing. Clark State's marketing wanted an update from me
But you
about
sent
a
it to
sign
them.
that somebody else is working on. Does that make any fucking
Did
sense?
they know that?
Yeah.
Did they send it to the
Yeah.
sign people?
Yeah.
Why'd they ask you?
I have no fucking idea. So I called Lori. I'm
Anything,
like,
I'd be waiting on marketing to let
right.
me know.
I know, it was confusing. So I called Lori and I'm like, what do you mean you want an update from Zach and Royal on HBC podium sign? Because the update is McRae has it and I haven't talked to them. You know what I mean? So like,
Yeah.
what's the update? And she's like, well, give them a call and try. So then we got the ball rolling a little bit more by nudging them again. And she's like, yeah, because Erica wants this, the director of marketing. She's like, she wants this to be installed by August 1st. And I'm like, okay. Shit in one hand and wish in the other and see which one fills up first.
Why would
you know
Erica
what I mean?
care?
It doesn't make any sense. So I email McRae.
This
and
is so weird.
I know.
The interactions between your departments.
I know. So I email McRae and I'm like, hey, McRae, like I'm getting a lot of pressure from the marketing department to have this fixed by August 1st. And Lori calls me and she's like, they don't care about the pressure you're feeling. I'm like, I know they don't, but they're a private company. So what else am I supposed to say? It's a private company who anybody can go to and buy signs from. and screen printing and scrub. Like, it's Ace Transfer. Anybody in the world can use Ace Transfer.
Yeah.
I can't tell Ace Transfer when to give me my Greg DeLong shirts. They'll call me when they're ready.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You can bug them.
And I mean, I guess that's what they wanted me to do, but I'm like, okay, well, if I'm going to bug them, then I'm going to tell them who's actually bugging them, and it's marketing, because I could give a shit about this. You know what I mean?
They also don't give a shit that it's your marketing department. If I got the email, I'd be like, okay.
Yeah, that's what I know, but I'm like, why are you even asking me to reach back out to them and bug them? You know what I mean?
Well, I have to bug people a lot at my job, and you just have to be annoying. You
Yeah.
just have to email them every day, like, can I get an update?
I guess so.
I need this by August 1st.
And I'm like, I guess
When
for
will it be
me, I'm
ready?
like, if I'm going to be the annoying one, I'm at least going to tell you why I'm being annoying. And it's because I'm feeling pressure from the marketing department. So, you know what I mean?
In an email, I'm just annoying. If you talk to me on the phone, I'm going to be real with you. I'll be like, yeah, I got people on my back.
That's true.
When you, like,
That's
I'm going to bug you.
Yeah, Lori treated.
how I handle
She
business.
treated me like it was cringe. She was like, "Yeah, they don't care." I'm like, "I know they don't," and I used it right back to her. I was like, "I know they don't care." It's pretty clear they don't care that we need this sign back. They'll get it when they get it to us, you know.
Right.
So then, of course, we get the sign back, and it breaks the next day.
Why?
And the logo peels.
What's wrong with the sign?
And because they didn't know how to make, because it's like curved and they didn't have the right material. It's like this whole fucking nightmare, dude. And so like, I would
It's just
never,
a sign that says Clark State.
I know. I would never. There's nowhere else I could imagine working that. Because like I've had so many jobs that I've just been like, I'd rather kill myself than go to work. Like Assurant.
Yeah.
If I had to like work at Assurant tomorrow, I'd be very depressed. You know. So it's like I'm not like legitimately going to quit because there's nowhere else I want to work. But this is like the most on the edge of quitting that I've ever felt. But I'm not going to quit. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. It's just like if another opportunity came, I'd
Right.
think about it.
And it's like it's just because it's like it is so annoying to constantly be questioned. Not that I'm like
I know.
Yeah, not that
I know.
Not that I don't have to. I don't feel like I should have to explain myself because when I mentioned that to Taylor, she was like, "Well, do you think you weren't going to have a boss?" And I'm like, "No, it's not that I don't. It's not that I don't want to have a boss. It's just that I would hope that now, after working with my boss for 3 years, he would trust me more and wouldn't have to, have a meeting."
Your boss
with
being
me.
the VP?
Yeah, like having worked with him for 3 years, I would hope that Doug would now know that if there's something going on with strategic planning day that I probably didn't do, you know what I mean? Like, why is his assumption immediately like, oh, well, Zach must have made a mistake for strategic planning day instead of, you know what I mean? Like, why is that his first?
Yeah,
his
that
first
is kind
thing
of
he jumps
annoying.
to?
That is kind of annoying.
You know, even though he, in that meeting, he's like, you have such a good reputation. You know, we know that you treat people well and you do everything you can. At the same time, even though he knows that, he still has to schedule a meeting with me to make sure that the prices are correct, even though he already approved them.
Why does there need to be a whole meeting for that?
I don't know.
I was just saying the other day, maybe a controversial take, but anybody who schedules a meeting that lasts more than 30 minutes should be shot dead.
Absolutely.
No reason.
Absolutely.
You don't need to meet for more than 30 minutes.
That marketing pricing meeting was scheduled for 90 minutes long, and it ended
Why?
up being 2 hours.
Why?
I don't because they're so fucking stupid.
Why do they care?
We talked about that sign for easily 30, 45 minutes, and then we got into the pricing. We were also supposed to be talking about the pack packages, so the pack people were there, and not once did it even come up. Because they were so anal about made us make packages. So now there's a lecture package, a vendor fair package, a conference package, a banquet package, and a wedding package. And each of those things unlocks different, inclusions.
Okay.
And based on what package you pick, there's also things that are additional charges based on what you pick. If it's a vendor fair, you probably aren't having a stage, but if you need a stage, it's $100 versus before everything was just all included for $1,000. So now it's like the prices for a vendor fair is now $750, but then if you need some of these extra things, then it gets you back up to $1,000.
Okay, that's
so
fair.
it's stupid, but that was what he wanted. That's what we did. So then we get to the meeting and they're like, well, what if somebody just says they want to do the lecture package and then they just do a banquet?
You can't.
I'm like, that's so stupid. Or what? Couldn't somebody just get the conference package and then add a bartender on?
This annoys me, dude, because this will happen at my job too. Somebody who's not in your position thinks that they have thought of something that you haven't.
Right. Exactly. And
It's
that's
not
what the
your
whole
job to
meeting
think
was.
about this stuff. It's my job to think about this,
Right.
and I already have. I've thought about everything that you could possibly think of.
Right.
Stop trying to zing me.
Literally.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah,
Like you're trying to
exactly.
zing me.
Exactly.
I have people who do that to us all the time. We'll give them because I wrote an app, we've made an application
Mm-hmm.
and we're offering it to people now, and then we'll have meetings with them and they'll be like, but so I take it you guys didn't think about this, did you?
Right. Literally.
No, we did. Yeah. We have an answer for you. Oh, okay, you did? Okay. Oh, and it probably doesn't have this, does it? No,
Right.
it does.
And the problem with
God.
it's annoying as fuck. And the problem with our meeting is it just kept going in circles. And it was I don't have a personal, even though I'm the one enforcing these policies, I don't have a personal investment. I didn't set the prices when I started. I was just enforcing someone else's policies and rules.
Yeah.
And so I at one point in the meeting, they kept being like, well, do you want one package or do you want all these 5 or 6? Do you want everything to be included, or do you? And I was literally just well, at this point, it kind of just depends on what I really needed to smoke. I was well, at this point, it really just depends on the college's philosophy, because I literally was I would not have made a single one of these packages if I hadn't been told to. So if you want to go back to all inclusive, that's fine. If you want to keep the packages, that's fine. You tell me. Because we were just, and that's the thing that's annoying me too about, and I'm sure you experience this on your side too. People who are so corporate or PC to the point where I sent an email the other day to a software company, and he said, he was trying to deny, kick the can down the road, without actually kicking the can down the road. And he was like, we are in an exploratory phase where we are going to pick a path forward, and we want that path forward to be one marked with intentionality and perspective, so that just a whole bunch of fucking nothing, just a whole bunch of big words that make him sound smart. It just pisses me off. I just hate
Why? To a software company?
it. Yeah, I just hate it.
Why would they care
He just
about
does
that?
it to anybody. He'll send that. That's just his MO to anybody.
That's how he
and
writes
I understand,
emails?
but and even then, that's how he talks too. In some way, you can tell when he's it's like a politician when you can tell
when
what
he's on?
Yeah, exactly. When you can tell that he's, he's not always like that. He is a person too. But there's this mode that you can just the person who came up and was like, "Hey, keep it down." That was that guy. You know what I mean? That was that version of Doug that also sits around.
Wait,
and
that was
talks
Doug
about,
who did that?
Mm-hmm.
Doug came up and did that to
Yeah,
you?
yeah,
Doug is the VP?
yeah,
What?
yeah.
We're talking about Doug Hunt.
No, that's Dan Hunt.
Oh my
Yeah.
god! I've been mixed up this whole time.
That's so funny.
I'm like,
He would never do that.
Dan is a fucking dick.
Meanwhile, he's
So Doug is the one who's just
exactly
posh. I don't have a lot of corporate people I work with like that. We're pretty down to earth.
Well, that's good at least.
But it just opens it up to be rude.
Yeah, that's true.
Because we're not putting on a front. It's just what the fuck are you doing?
That's true. I mean, so it is good to and I mean I can write
The fake corporate talk.
It's I write emails
Gross.
different than I speak, but I also don't write emails with things I wouldn't actually say. But I obviously take my time more than I would if I was talking to somebody.
This is interesting. I'd like to, maybe I'll pull up some of my work emails and see, we can dive into this, because I don't know how I talk.
Yeah, I would be interested to hear what your emails sound like.
They're very matter of fact.
I think
That's
that
what
makes
I'm
sense,
kind of
yeah.
reading them. I don't know if you remember, a few years ago, I took a college class for Abigail's friend Kayla.
Oh yeah, yeah.
All about, trying to remember it was from Clark State, but it was all about how to handle yourself in business. And a big portion of the
Sounds
class,
something would be business skills or something.
it's something like
yeah.
it was something stupid, but it actually has helped me tremendously.
Really?
It really does. Yeah. One of the things they taught was how to send an email.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is just how to send an effective email, because it's just put what you want immediately.
Yeah.
Don't you have to nobody's going to read it.
Mm-hmm.
And if they want to read it and get detail, they can, but put exactly what you need from them at the very beginning.
Yeah.
So this email I sent to Kevin, who is my boss's boss, because I
Nice.
need approval for something. So I know this guy is just no nonsense guy. You don't fuck around with these big wigs.
Yeah.
So I just said, hello, what we need. Yes or no from Kevin, confirming we are okay to place legacy VSI orders. In bold, Bruce has already reviewed and approved. I know that's all he cares about.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, Bruce approved it. Okay.
Right.
And then why we need. Neat is creating a second instance for an automation engine. For our automation engine, for increased resiliency, for pave, repave upgrades, and increased job capacity. Legacy VSIs have been retired in favor of GVP. GVP does not support NMS, which Neat requires. That's all you need.
Right.
Just let me know if you have more questions. Thanks.
There you go.
Very matter of fact. And then when I'm talking, so I sent this email to some people because I was organizing a conference space for us earlier in the week. Hey guys, disregard the 3J conference room in the invitation. I've booked one in 3147 for us since it's closer. It's the closest conference room to the open space with the couches in the middle of the office.
There it
It's
is.
just like,
Yeah.
what? I don't know. I don't pad it with shit. I
Right.
hate when people do that. I just like, just very matter of fact.
Sometimes that's all you need.
This one, I
mean,
got
that
an
is all you
email.
need.
Why is this happening? I said, not sure. We'll investigate and unlock. I don't know. Just like, I got an email. I said, hi, Taylor. We haven't observed any issues since re-enabling. I don't even put a signature on emails like that.
Yeah.
There's no need. Like, why? I hate email talk.
Mhm.
Why do you need to? Best regards.
Right.
Fuck off.
Warm wishes.
Oh, if somebody tells me like warm, whatever, like,
No.
shut the fuck up and just talk to me.
There was a client that we had, like, she's moved on, but her name was Amanda Sandwich, and she worked at the Ohio Virtual,
I
Academy.
met a person with the last name Sandwich recently.
Yeah, and she,
Without a D, just Sandwich.
this was the way you spell sandwich, but then with an S in the witch. So it was like sandwich.
Sandwich.
But it was
okay.
pronounced sandwich, but it had an
German.
S in there, yeah. But she was the type of person that she would like. I only had to talk to her a couple times a year, but she would like send out before they did their testing on site. They would send out like, these are the days we're going to be on site, and that email she would use it like a blog post, like, oh, me and my husband, like my husband and I are so excited to go to the vacation this year. Like,
What?
yeah, it was really weird. Yeah, it was really weird. It was really weird. But when she announced that she was leaving for another position, I was like, oh, actually, I'm kind of sad I won't get her, blogs.
But why?
I don't know. Like, she'd be like, it'd be like, happy fall. Like, I can't believe the school year has just started. We'll be on site in October. My husband and I like to go to the cornfields every year and do a corn. Like, yeah, it's weird. Yeah, it was weird, but it was kind
She
of
just likes
wholesome.
to write.
Yeah,
It's a medium for her.
it was kind of wholesome,
Yeah, it's just, I could not imagine doing that at my job. People would be like, why?
Right, and then like all you really
We don't
need
read
is
them.
right. All you need is the PDF she attached.
Do you read your emails?
Sometimes, yeah. I mean, yeah, but it depends. I don't get many that are too many unnecessary
Long-winded.
details. Yeah. Besides, like
Dude, if
dishonest.
if my email is more than 2 sentences, they won't read it.
Damn.
It's really bad at my job. We get lots of emails. Though.
Yeah.
I don't read how I guarantee I would be almost embarrassed to see how many emails I have unread right now.
I
just can't read them all.
I feel the same way about voicemails. I have like 500 missed voicemails on my work desk.
344 emails right now that I
Damn.
haven't read. And I cleared it out last week.
That's crazy. Work. It is what it is.
Yeah, my job's been fucking annoying the piss out of me, but
Like all those long hours.
it wouldn't even be about the long hours. It's the people.
Yeah.
I had a dude get rude with me a few days ago because we're like 5 days in the office now. I put in the bare minimum I can. I'm usually in there just 4 hours.
Yeah.
That's how much I need for it to count as a day. And then once 4 hours hits, I'm like, even if like it's inconvenient for me to leave, I'm like, I need to leave now.
Yeah.
And I just go home. But I'm in the office and my buddy Carl comes over and he's asking me about, he's like, hey, where are we going out for drinks tomorrow? Just very normal office conversation. I'm like, oh yeah. And we start just talking. We're talking about work stuff. Maybe 5-10 minutes. And this guy is sitting like right to the left of me. Because like I'm facing towards you and he's working facing this way. And we have like desks that are kind of next to each other. And he goes, hey guys, if you're going to keep talking, why don't you just go get a room? Yeah, thanks. Like, dude, we're in the fucking office. This is what they want us to be here for. And we're just kind of like, okay.
I hate that shit.
Okay.
Yeah, that's like totally the same energy that Doug had that
Yeah,
day.
that's what it reminded me of that. So we walk over. I'm like, oh, he's a fucking dick. And not even 20 minutes later, this dude's on a Zoom call right next to me. So loud. All the time. He's so loud. He's on a Zoom call right next to me, and he's a fucking douchebag. Just a douche. And I will have to extrapolate like what the other guy's saying on the end of this, but he has a call and he goes, so is it ready? Let me ask again, is it ready? Liar.
You're a liar. Can I use it? yeah, that it's not ready. Yeah, that's what I said, liar. That's how he talks to people, dude.
God.
Ew, it like
Ew.
disgusted me. I'm like, ew, this guy's
Ew.
a fucking prick.
Ew.
I know. I really got it there. Like that was exactly what he did.
I wouldn't
Liar.
want to be around that either. Ew.
Ew, I hate that guy.
Ugh.
I looked him up yesterday because I was curious about it. Like, who is this guy? And he's apparently some executive director. So like, you kind of have to respect him a little bit.
Ugh. I hate
I would
that.
not want to work for that
No.
guy. No. I'm very
No.
thankful I have Bruce.
Fuck.
Ugh.
Yeah, and like it is one of those things. Like it is kind of the devil you know versus the devil you don't, sort of. Because like Dan's kind of getting up to retirement age, and of course there's like a possibility that I'll throw my hat into the ring for the job, but I don't know if I'll get it. And so then I'm like, is it better if it's an outside hire? Like, am I okay if it's Jimmy? Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's so
Yeah.
many like variables in it. Like, will that person understand that like we have to flex out because we work overtime that we don't get paid for? Or, like, will they understand that I'm usually at home by like 2 p.m. every day? You know,
Right, and not
and like that's
questioning
not
about
going
it.
to change. You know, I hope. Like,
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's it is one of those things. Like I don't know.
That's how I
Just
feel
so
about
many
trying to like, join
personalities.
another organization at my job. But just by chance, I felt like a severance thing the other day, where like I was saying earlier, I had to do this conference room. I had to get a conference room because we're like organizing all the people under Bruce that like work under like in Columbus and the New York people and the Texas people. We're all trying to like get together, everybody in the office, so we can have like a big meeting. And I'm the one organizing the room for us. So I go over like. Our office is huge, so I go over like a quarter mile down,
Yeah.
up 3 floors to like this other random floor because they have a conference room there, and I'm getting it all together. Dude, I felt like severance. I felt like I entered a whole other world
Yeah.
because our office is sterile. It's white. I know, like I just walk the same hallways every day. I do the same thing every day. Come into the office, maybe I go to the cafeteria. I come back. I stand in the courtyard of Ape. No, bro, like it was like a party in there. They had like. They were writing on the walls. There were memes everywhere. They were like playing games together.
That's crazy.
What the fuck is this department?
That's like what you see as like a tech company in a TV show.
Yeah,
Like,
it
they're
was
all just
just-
like
it was
playing ping pong.
Just like that. Yeah.
So weird.
We have stuff like that at the office, but it's like I kind of see it sometimes, but I never saw a floor like actively engaged in it. And I'm like, what the fuck? What department is this? I
Right.
felt like I was the fucking like stumbled in on something I
right.
shouldn't have.
Like, who
It was
are these
amazing.
people?
I'm like fucking Irving.
Right.
This is like I came onto the art department. I'm like, oh,
Right. It's cool. Yeah.
I wanna
mean,
be
like, it's
there.
cool in some ways.
I would love to be in that organization where they're
Whatever
having
it is.
such a good time.
Right.
They had memes on the wall everywhere. It was fun.
I love that. It's like they had memes everywhere.
Dude, but well, I only say that because our environment's so sterile. Nobody talks to each other. I mean, obviously, we were talking to each other, and some guy got mad at us.
Right.
It's the fucking office, dude. Go home if you don't like it.
Right. He's put your 4 hours in
He's
after
just
we
mad 'cause
leave.
he's an executive director, and he doesn't even get his own office.
Yeah. That is,
Sorry,
Yeah,
you gotta
that's
work
pretty
next to me.
fuck that guy.
I know. I want to shit on his desk. I really want to do something gross to him.
Yeah.
I don't know what I could do. Like,
I honestly am thinking the same thing.
Cum on
about-
my hand and then just wipe it on his desk. Like,
Could, yeah.
I could actually do that. Like in my car, just like come on my hand, just wipe it on his mouth.
Just walk in with a cup of mayonnaise in your hand, essentially.
No, I want it on my hand, like warm, still warm, and just
So bad.
it dries by the time
was-
it comes in.
There was somebody, I can't remember, there was somebody, without going into the whole story, there was somebody doing a Crinkles moment in one of the shows we saw in New York City.
Yeah.
And instead, I mean, of course, I did layer them with my fingernails, but I was also, I kept telling Taylor, well, at intermission when we were talking about it, I was like, I keep throwing my fingernails on them, but I was like, I feel like I need coyote piss. I was like, because these people were pissing me off. They were so annoying. I just wanted to spray them with coyote piss. To a short version of it, these were like floor length skirt homeschool church people,
Okay.
and she had like
Stumbled into the city.
right, and she had like they were seeing Boop the musical, and they were it felt like a Mormon or like German Baptist family. Like they were certainly homeschooled at the very least. They just had that vibe and
Yeah,
like
I
that
know
look
what
about them. And one of the girls, this family was so big they took up 2 rows off and on. I mean, they didn't fill up every seat, but they were spread across 2 rows, which was, I guess, easier for them to manage than all like 12 seats in one row. So it was like 6 in one, 6 in the other.
Yeah.
And so in the row right in front of us, one of their homeschooled children was asleep, like just fully asleep. And I mean, she must have been like 13, 14, just fully asleep before the show even started. And the rest of them were sitting down too. I mean, she had some family members with her sitting next to her, but then the row down was the girl's, 6 foot tall, 7 foot tall mom who had her, 30-foot braid and her. Yeah, I mean, she was. They were. Yeah, and
did she have the one with the little hat?
No, they weren't hats. They weren't hat wearers. So I don't know exactly. They're probably not
the
German
little hat I'm
Baptist.
talking about,
Yeah, like the like
it's more
white,
like an Amish.
Yeah,
thing.
like Amish thing. Yeah, but
German Baptists like to wear like a bonnet.
Yeah. So right before intermission, the girl who was sitting in the row in front of us woke up, and it was almost like she had never known that they were going to the theater. She had never heard what a theater was. She had never seen a movie even. And so she woke up and was like so dazed, maybe that's like the best way to describe it, that she just stood up.
In the middle of the show?
Mm-hmm. Just stood up. Didn't walk anywhere. Didn't, just stood up. She was just like, just stood up. And so then her mom, who's sitting... Right, exactly. Right, throwing my fingernails. Literally. And so now the mom sees that her daughter is standing up like over her shoulder. So she, in a way that I will not be able to accurately depict how like inhuman it looked, because this woman is like legitimately 7, 8, 9 feet tall. Like she was so tall, dude, that like she was able to contort her body in such a way that without standing up, she was able to like turn her whole body around, lean over the seat, grab her daughter, and like wrestle her back into her seat. It was and like, not that they were like being loud about it, but it was like one of these like, sit down, get back in your seat, sit down, Jocelyn, sit in your seat, right here, just sit in your seat, it's almost intermission, sit down. And like, because she's so tall and what she's doing is so inhuman, it like stands out. It would have like, I don't know.
Are they right in front of you?
So there's like 2 seats in front of me that are empty, and then she's like right here.
Okay.
And then the mom is in the row down. She's like right in front of me.
Okay.
But she's a row down.
So how did you land fingernails on her?
I would like put them on the edge of my lip and go,
okay,
and then like watch them like do a twirl down onto her. But I was like, I really want coyote piss. I don't know why I think it's just because I know they sell it that I was like, I need coyote piss. Yeah. And is that assault? I feel like that's assault at that point, right? Like if they found out I did it.
That's a good question.
If you spray coyote piss on somebody,
what if you did like a mist, like a Windex bottle?
If it's like a Windex bottle, or like what you might spray a cat with, or like what they use to like wet your hair. Those are all the same kind of bottle, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, if it's like something like that, like
it's probably assault.
It's probably because it's piss. Yeah.
If it's water, probably not.
Like that would kind of be up to the judge. The water. Yeah. It's pretty pungent. I feel like coyote piss is probably like just full ammonia.
I feel like cats are the only ones that have ammonia in their piss.
Well, that's true. Well, I mean, sometimes human piss has that ammonia smell.
I've never smelled.
Not that I'm like, but like, I guess to me, like maybe it's not ammonia. It's just the smell of piss.
I know the smell.
You know what I mean? Yeah, like when you yellow, let it mellow all day, and then you come back like 6 hours later, and it's like
undeniable. That's piss.
Yeah,
that's piss.
Don't know how we made it to piss. One thing I'll add before we wrap up this episode. The other day I was babysitting Bella and Willow. My mom and Will were out of town, and Bella is pretty much 100% blind.
Is she?
Yeah.
Poor thing.
It's terrible. She runs into, even at home, like where you would expect that she would know maybe where everything is, she'll like run full speed. Like where the garage is, like the house that I lived in back there.
Yeah.
She would, as she was, if, let's say she's over at that part of the yard, she will run full speed into the back of that other garage.
Oh my God.
Instead of like to the door.
Right.
She's constantly, like, her heart was racing the whole time. Obviously, when we brought her here, because she had no fucking idea where she was. No fucking clue. And, I mean, she knew, like...
There's no familiar smells.
Right. And, like, she knew that she knew who I was. She knew who Taylor was. And, like, she could smell Willow. And she knew Fran was here. But, I mean... But, like, it was... The way it was sad, dude. And the way I would describe it is like the way I told Taylor, because she just would not sit down anywhere. She would not sit or lay down for when she eventually did, but I mean, we would sit there, we'd bring her into the living room, because obviously she doesn't know where she is, and she would just walk around the room as if she had like a step counter on and she needed to get to 10,000 steps. Like she was just walking nonstop. We had such a similar experience
with Abigail's childhood dog Scamp.
Yeah.
So very recently we did.
Yep.
Very weird. So similar.
Just nonstop walking. I wouldn't get comfortable at all.
I've never seen anything like.
And like she would just run into everything.
He would run into the wall and he would get himself into like corners and get himself stuck, and he couldn't back up out of it. But his whole MO was just walking. He had to walk.
I'd keep like putting her in her bed and I'd like sit there with her and she'd like sit for a minute and I'd pet her and like get her to lay down while like I was with her, and then as soon as I got up she'd just get back up and start walking around the whole room again.
That's so weird. It's like the same thing.
So we were supposed to have her for 2 nights, and on the second day is when I worked a different wedding at work, and I worked it was the one time I was telling you it was like their second daughter's wedding, and they both got married there, and I worked 3 p.m. to midnight. So I got home around like 12:15, 12:30ish, and Bella, Willow obviously could see that I was there, and so she was excited, and I was holding her in my lap and in the recliner, and I could see like Bella suddenly caught my scent, or she heard me or something. She sensed I was home, and so she started like wagging her tail and like looking around the room. So I was like, over here, Bella, over here. And Willow's in my lap. I'm like, over here, over here. When Bella finally gets there, they go territorial, absolutely go vicious.
Have they ever done that?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're doing it a lot. And, I don't know. It was absolutely insane. I mean, they do it. I've seen them fight, and it's easy to break them up when they're not sitting in your lap. But I absolutely got my finger. It doesn't look as bad right now, but Willow absolutely got my finger. It hurt so bad.
Oh, my God.
Drew blood. It hurt so fucking bad, dude. She got a bite of my finger and then just was like, like gnawing on it. It hurt so fucking bad. And like my mom got bit, probably a couple months ago in a similar situation where they just get jealous and they start fighting, and then you try to break them up and your hand gets in the wrong place and they bite you. Not that there's any excuse for it, but I'm just saying it's not like they're trying to bite her.
No, I know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it happens.
And so when it happened to my mom, I was kind of like, yeah, but they're so small. Like, how could it hurt? It didn't make me cry, but it hurt so fucking bad, dude.
No, I know. It does.
Hurt so bad.
Wound.
Yeah.
Any puncture wound really hurts.
It hurt so bad. Throbbing pain. My finger was bleeding. I was like clenching it in a towel, and I was like, pack their shit. And we got in the car right then and drove them home.
In the middle of the night?
Yep. 12:30 in the morning.
Why did you guys have them?
They were out of town, but they were going to be coming home. We were going to take them home in the morning anyway.
Shit.
But I was so mad. And like at that point, like there was a time when Willow was asleep in between my legs and the recliner was out, and Looney didn't know she was there. And so she jumped up basically on top of Willow. And then of course Willow's asleep and it scared her. So she freaked. I don't think she actually bit her, but she snapped at her.
You've seen this happen at my house all the time. Ruby does this all the time.
Exactly. And so it was just one of those things that I was like, well, I don't want, after I got bit, I was so mad that it made me think of my dad when he would like go bipolar and he'd be like, I'm taking you to your mom's. And then by the time we got to my mom's, he would be calmed down and he would just turn around and go home. Right.
Yeah.
So it started making me think of that. But as we were driving home, my mom has been talking about it for a long time that she, it's getting close to time to put, especially Bella down, that, she's getting towards the end of her life. Really since she started going blind, like even like once the cataracts like started forming, it was already like in her mind, like it's the end, which I understand. I mean, but she's like, it's the end of her life, and I do get that. But for some reason, I mean, and Willow has some like hip problems, not devastating hip problems, but sometimes, I mean, small dogs have hip problems sometimes, and
She's really fat.
and she's fat too.
Yeah, she's
But
morbidly
for all
obese.
intents and purposes, she has all of her, like, she still has time left. Like,
Willow does, for
yeah,
sure.
Well, my
Willow's not that old.
my mom and Will kind of want to, it seems like, get them put down at the same time,
Why?
which I think is pretty inhumane, and I hope
But
that,
Willow's not
right.
bad.
Right.
She's not
Now,
blind.
Willow is the one that bit my mom, and Willow is the one that bit me, but it was all circumstantial, too. You know what I mean?
That's what small dogs do. They
and
get
I also
territorial.
feel like, as sad as this whole conversation is, I
Don't
also
tell me they're
feel
gonna
like
do this.
I also feel like if they were just to have Bella put down, who does seem to be at the end of her lifespan, as sad as it is, her quality of life is, I mean, she can still walk, I mean, so that's good, but she's so scared, and
Yeah.
she doesn't know where she is, and she's not comfortable always walking. I mean, I don't know how she is when she's just at home, but she was just nonstop walking here.
Yeah,
and-
Scamp was doing the same thing.
And so I feel like most of Willow's aggression problems all have to do with jealousy from a dog that might not still be there. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's like, I don't know. I'm hoping to plea out to my mom, but when I told her that,
Please do. Like,
yeah.
somebody needs to take Willow.
I
Like,
know.
why would she need to die?
I know.
She's years younger than Bella.
Yeah.
And she's
I
a
know.
small dog. Small dogs live a long time.
Yeah. I don't know. So when I took him back,
I'm planning on Ruby to live like 16
I
years.
know. So we took him back, and we got back home. I cried, not because it hurt, but just as we were leaving, I was like, that was probably the last time, that I'll be with Bella, so that made me cry. I cried the whole way home.
I hope that's not true.
When we, the next day, I was talking to my mom about it, and she was like, well, was this weekend enough for you, or do you want to see him again? And at least Bella, do you want to see her again? And I was like, well, yeah, I want to see her again. All that to say that we're going over there tomorrow, Sunday, for a family dinner, and then I think at some point next week, at least,
Oh.
Bella is going to be put down. I'm hoping, I say that it's only going to be Bella because I don't, can you even, I mean, like, will a doctor
I don't think
let
so.
you euthanize a dog that has no reason to be euthanized?
Well, they'll absolutely shame you for it.
Yeah,
I don't know if they'll let you do it.
yeah,
Probably.
yeah.
It'd be really wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be really, really
Anyway,
wrong.
I'm gonna make my plea, but I told Taylor, I was like, well, if they want to, I guess we'll have to take Willow, and she's like, no, and I'm like,
What?
yeah, I know.
You said that?
Yeah,
Dude,
and it's
I would
like,
talk to Abigail about it. I can't watch that little
Yeah.
dog die. Like, there's no reason.
Yeah, I was like, I don't want that, but so I'll definitely be talking to her tomorrow. But I also want to talk to her about, I definitely don't want to do this, but I do think it's important, to be with your animal when
Yeah.
they're being put down. So I want to make a plea to my mom that it's only one animal, even though I don't want Bella to go. I don't want Bella to die, but I'm gonna try to make a plea for that there's no reason that Willow needs to be put down too.
I can't believe she's even considering it.
And that I want to ask her, and hopefully that she would tell me the truth. Like, are you planning to go back with Bella? Because if she's not, then I'll probably go and go back with her, because I don't want her to be alone during. She's already gonna be scared,
Yeah.
And of course, the memory of putting Princess down is like burnt into my brain, and I don't really want to experience that with Bella too. But I don't want her. I don't want to also have to think about for the rest of my life that she was alone during that moment.
Yeah, no, I completely get it.
So I don't know. It's premature, but I probably by the time we record the next episode, Bella will have passed away.
That's really
So
sad.
We'll do a preemptive one where her her life is still alive since she's alive at this moment, and then when she does pass away, we'll update it. But for now, MOATAIF honors Bella. Hopefully we don't have to honor Willow in that way yet. You would also think, like, just from but they are kind of heartless. Not my mom, but Will is kind of heartless. But you would think from a logical standpoint that if you have two dogs, that the loss of two dogs would be a lot greater than the loss of one dog. Like, wouldn't you think? Yeah, I mean, like, the loss would almost be... It would be easier to grieve Bella in a not... It would be hard, you know what I mean? Like, it's
just suddenly
easier
went from having two dogs to no dogs.
Right. It would be easier to grieve one dog than to grieve both. But at the same time, when Princess was dying, I was laying on the floor crying, holding her in my arms, and Will says 1 down, 2 to go, because we had 2 cats. So I mean, he's cruel in that way, but also at the same time he's mentioned
What the fuck?
as they've brought this up, he's mentioned I'm gonna have to see if I can have a doctor come out here to the house and euthanize them, because I can't take them to because he just always talks about it like he's gonna be both of them, but that's why I'm hoping that I can appeal to my mom.
What the
that it's only one.
What's going on?
So we'll see.
Willow is not.
Yeah.
I'm just so confused.
I know.
She got Willow in 2018.
Yeah. And she has some hip problems, and she
It's
probably
because she's super
yeah.
morbidly obese.
And but yeah, she's
Have the
certainly
doctors
not
told
ready to
them that?
die. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Willow needs to be on a diet, and I guarantee her hip would feel better.
Right. Yeah, I don't. It's sad. Yeah, and it is. And it's cruel to imagine that they would kill both of them when only one of them. And even then, being blind isn't a death sentence. It shouldn't be. You know what I mean?
Well, I
A
think
blind.
It's more so the confusion.
Right. But I'm just saying, a blind person, it would be cruel to say, we're going to euthanize him just because he can't see.
It took me and Abigail a week of staying, or probably a week and a half of staying with her childhood dog Scamp to really understand it.
Right.
And it got just so bad. He'd get stuck on everything. He was confused, pacing, just scared, had no clue what was going on. And then the day we were going to put him down, I'm sitting in the living room, and we usually keep the door to the basement slightly ajar because the cat boxes are down there. And we had a bunch of stuff blocking it so the cats could jump over top of it and still get into the basement. Yeah. Somehow he managed to get in there, and all I hear is brother, my heart sunk down. I was like, there's no way. He's dead already.
Right.
And he fell down the stairs on my watch. I go downstairs, dude. He's just pacing around. Completely fine, just doing the same thing, just pacing around, running into walls. It didn't even faze him. And I was like, there's nothing going on in his mind.
Right.
Probably a good thing that he's getting put down. Because all he fears is oh, I'm pacing. I'm stuck. Ah! Right. Oh, I'm unstuck? Okay, I'm pacing.
Yeah.
That's
and it's
all his
not a
mind
quality
was.
of life.
No,
and
it was
it's
nothing.
really sad.
Yeah.
It's really sad. And I mean, I think just overall, MOATAIF takes the stance that animals die too early.
Yes.
Animals should live a lot longer than they do.
They should be immortal.
Animals should be immortal in general.
Our pets should.
Yeah. If you've claimed an animal as a pet, that should make it immortal.
Right.
Or at least
until you die.
At least until you die. Yeah. Because
Right.
then it's we'd have just inevitably billions of cats and
Right.
billions of dogs that never die.
You'd probably be getting paid to have your pet killed.
It's really sad, and I don't want to have to go through it with my animals too. And I mean, Bella and Willow do feel like my animals, but I know they're my mom's, but it's still going to be
I'm just so confused
just as
about
sad.
Willow. That's really sad.
I know.
There's something wrong with Will.
There were a couple times, there was a good 5 or 6 months where Willow could hardly walk because her hip was so bad.
Oh, did they get her
yeah,
surgery?
I mean, it was. I don't think she ended up having surgery, but she had a lot of medicine, and then it just got better, I guess, from what I remember. But it's she needs a really expensive hip surgery, or these sorts of things. And I understand some of those things, especially because it doesn't bother her all the time. That is kind of one of those things that is not necessary, I guess.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah, I really hope I can make a case for Willow. So, keep her in your thoughts.
I'm going to.
Keep her in your thoughts.
I don't like this.
I'll make sure to let you know when we get there tomorrow what sort of things they have in mind.
Oh,
But
Jesus.
It's going to be hard. I'm not looking forward to having that kind of emotional moment in front of everybody. But at the same time, if it is the last time that I see Bella, I don't want to not have that moment either, just because oh, my grandma's watching me.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
But
what are you gonna do, brother?
Folks, keep your animals in your prayers, because keep them safe and keep them with you and hold them tight, because they sure aren't with us forever. And keep Bella in your thoughts and keep Willow in your thoughts, and pray that I don't quit my job, and pray that RJ don't quit his job.
We're asking for prayers now, MOATAIF. One like on this podcast equals one prayer.
And comment below. Keep working on Bonadeuce. and we'll be working on it.
Smash that sub button.
Smash that subscribe.
Smash the fuck out of it.
And until next time, folks, stay moat.
My mom stapled my hole shut.